Family means everything to me, and it has been incredible to do something that connects 3 generations of my family together.
Well, my favorite thing is being a mom and a grandma. I love children, and that was always my hope growing up, is to be a mom and a grandma.
I am a daughter, granddaughter, and sister. I love making other people smile and telling stories.
I love activating my creativity by doing writing and artistic projects, but I also love researching and learning new things and finding fun, silly ways of implementing those things in my own life.
I love to create. My father was a printer, and he would bring home stacks of paper that they were just throwing out, and I could do anything I wanted with that paper.
Ever since I was little, I've always loved writing and drawing. As a toddler, I would tell my parents what to write, and then I would draw the pictures while they wrote it. Growing up, I would also illustrate and write fairy tales for my family to read.
I love to create things, and my father was my example. Every year he'd help us make Valentine boxes. We would create things to decorate it. Even a carousel that went around in a circle for a Valentine's box. He was the creator.
When I was in junior high, I had this incredible creative writing teacher. I actually wrote my first children's book during his class. It was called Bubbles the Elephant. My mom actually helped me with the illustrations on that too.
Whenever I see a box or paper, in my mind starts running, what can I make out of it?
I've always loved my mom's illustrations. Her illustrations have always been so incredible. She is such an amazing woman. And so even in high school, she was my first pick. A few years ago, I published a nonfiction book on health and wellness that I spent years researching for beforehand. But I was really excited this time to delve into my creative side.
I always loved the idea of illustrating a children's book, so when I found out I could actually do this, it was really exciting. I really feel like creating this book has made me an illustrator.
We grew up with fairy tales, loved fairy tales, and making up stories and just anything we could create.
For this children's book, it's been an interesting journey. I originally wrote it for my kids. When my kids were really little, we were struggling with which Christmas traditions to add to our family. And I really wanted to be honest with them while keeping the magic of Christmas alive. And I wanted them to understand the true history of Christmas and the true meaning of Christmas.
There are amazing artists out there, but I guess my favorite is my father. He influenced me the very most. He could draw anything. He was always creating stuff for us kids. Both my mother and father, they centered their life around us kids, doing things for us and helping us learn.
After all these years of reading this story to my children and enjoying these traditions around it, I just had this realization that, it would be so cool if this book were made to look really, really nice, good enough that I could share it with other people. And I remembered that my mom has always dreamed of illustrating a children's book. And so I decided to ask her if she would want to do this with me. I think she was a little nervous at first, but it was so exciting for her too.
Kimberly had the idea of having me help her. She came to me and asked me if I'd like to help her illustrate her book. And I was really excited about that. A little unsure at first, but I thought, wow, this is a cool opportunity. Her book has an element of pretend that I love to do illustrations for pretend things, but it also is a teaching book for children. I love the combination.
Then I realized that there was so much digital artwork that needed to be done on top of what my mom was doing. This skill set would fit Eva's talents perfectly. So I asked Eva if she wanted to be a part of this too.
When my mom realized that we needed to digitize a bunch of the images that my grandma had done, she came to me and asked me if I wanted to be a part of that process. The three of us chatted about it, and we all became really excited for me and Grandma to become an illustration team.
Together, their art is so beautiful. Eva just brings some magic to the art and brings it to life. My mom, she brings such a beautiful vintage style to it that I've just grown up loving. Together, they are just a powerhouse.
I fine-tuned all of Grandma's images, and I love her vintage art style that brought so much imagination and life to the characters and the scenes as we did the book. I think we made an awesome team, and I love that this book is so perfect for us.
My mother, she never felt like she was an artist, but she had creative ideas, and so she would tell us her ideas, and then Father and us kids would all get involved in trying to make her ideas come to fruition. She loved a lot of things like the precious moments. I need to include her on the creative things. So my parents really inspired me to try and be my best at whatever I decided to be, and it was really fun to learn all those things from my parents.
My grandma definitely inspires me because she's such an amazing artist, and I am so lucky that I get to work with her art and make it come to life, and I think that's awesome. While fine-tuning Grandma's images for the book, it was definitely a process, learning how to maintain her style and keep the feeling of the characters while still trying to clean up the book and make sure that it was ready for publishing.
There are so many legends that go into what makes Christmas what it is, but I think the most important of them all is that Santa is real. Santa came from a real man who had a real life. His name was Saint Nicholas. We can bring even more magic to our Christmas and to our children's lives when we look at this real man's life. Saint Nicholas was a truly amazing man. He did so many incredible things to help the people around him. He had such a giving heart.
I really enjoyed working with Grandma and my mom on this book. I thought it was a really great experience and a really cool opportunity to get into the world of illustration. I especially loved adding in my own images that I drew, like Benny, and being able to see that come to life in a book.
That started this process of all three of us working together, grandma, mom, and daughter, or mom, daughter, granddaughter. It's 3 generations of family, which is so amazing. My hope is that you are able to take my experiences and these stories and truly bring in that magic into your home and your family.
I'm so grateful I got to work on this with my mom and grandma. It truly has been an awesome opportunity.
I have loved working on this with you, sweetheart.